Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. I urge you to follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking for the newest, the latest, and the greatest in men's and women's hats and fedoras, please visit our sponsor at shopelitestyle.com. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate here in the great city of Houston or anywhere in our great state of Texas, please visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's a beautiful Thursday here in Houston, and wherever you may be, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, my co-host is not only a multi-time author, a serial entrepreneur, a Texas real estate broker. He is known the worldwide as the Texas Real Estate King. So as always, I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that warm introduction. What's up, Prime Real Estate Network? How y'all doing today, man?
We out here, man. We out here, brother.
I'm feeling good, Rick. Like I got my all white. I got my all white Realtor shirt on. Like I typically don't put this one on, but I'm feeling something amazing taking place at the networking events this evening. So, I mean, if somebody's out there and you already got an idea that you finna bring me a big deal, or you finna book me for a speaking engagement, I'm here and I'm ready.
And you know, Brooks, we're getting ready to get into the fourth quarter of this business year, so everything is going to pick up.
No doubt.
So if you're looking to get Mr. Brooks to speak at your Christmas party, or if you just want to invite him to your Christmas party, or if you need the life of your Christmas party,
now I voice for the life, no doubt.
Reach out to Mr. Brooks directly, brother. How you been, man? What's going on?
I've been good, man. I ain't got no complaints, man. Just been a wonderful week, man. I spent a lot of time just networking, just kind of just building the circle of influence, man. Continue to being around the right people, man. So for those of you that are in that entrepreneur space or business space or just want to grow your network of good people, man, you got to get out there. Get out there, shake some hands, do some high-fiving, and pass out some cards and get some cards. So that's what I've been doing all week.
You know, the cool thing is of course, we follow each other on social media. You've been doing a lot of great work this week as far as working with your nonprofit, A Grandparents Love. So could you just give the audience a little update as far as how everything's going with your nonprofit?
Thanks for bringing that up, man. Shout out to my grandmother, or RIP, I think is the thing that we always say. She passed away about 3 years ago. But today is actually her birthday, man.
Shout out.
Yeah, today is her birthday, man. So A Grandparents Love, go to agrandparentslove.org. I don't want to take up too much time with it, but it was a nonprofit that was the visionary of my grandmother and myself that we started. And it's funny, I was sitting back this morning, I was thinking to myself, every birthday my grandmother wanted white diamond. She ain't want nothing else from me. She said, I want my white diamond, and I want it for my birthday. And so I was thinking to myself, I no longer purchase the white diamond, but I take the same $50 that I would use to purchase that white diamond and put it in a nonprofit, man. So it's going to bless someone else's grandmother here in the near future.
So that was your grandma's perfume, that white diamonds, man.
Every year for
that Elizabeth Taylor white diamonds, man.
For 30 years, I bought white diamond for her birthday.
Come on, man.
That was it, man.
Not only was that a great fragrance, but the marketing behind that particular
No
perfume.
No doubt about it.
Last time. It's been crazy. Decades, that white diamonds, man.
Yeah.
Come on, you put white diamonds on a T-shirt, you get sued immediately. That's perfect, man. It's funny, man. I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because I think one of the things about the podcast that our viewers and listeners really enjoy is that they get a little bit more insight into what you're like when you're off the clock.
No doubt about it.
How you are in your private life.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for sharing that information, bro.
No doubt, man. Thanks for asking. And if, for those of you that are interested in the Grandparents Love, you can also follow the Instagram page at Grandparents Love. And we always putting content on there and things like that. If you need to reach the organization, if you know someone that's in need that we can help service and things like that. And of course, if you want to give so that we can help the organization grow.
Today's episode is great. Today's episode, and I want to tell the audience, today's episode is entitled The Cycle of Success. I'm hoping that after you hear from our two guests, all of our listeners and viewers will have an opportunity to understand that when you are an entrepreneur and when you are a business person, regardless of what line of endeavor you're in, there's going to be peaks and troughs. There's going to be ups and downs. And your professionalism, your organization, and your stick-to-itiveness is what's going to help you to be able to withstand those ups and downs and be successful in any type of a market. And with the two gentlemen that are sitting in with us today, they'll illustrate for you that not only with planning, but also with practice and implementation, you can be successful in any type of a market, bull or bear. So I want to start off because both of our guests are professional speakers. But I want to introduce our first guest. He is a professional realtor with J. Parr Realty. And I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience our first guest, Mr. Andre Notice.
How you doing? Glad to be here.
Hey, brother, man, I appreciate you for carving out a little time in your schedule, man.
Of course.
Thanks for sitting in with us. It's so funny. Our guest, of course, well, if you follow me on Facebook and you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes before we start filming, both of our guests have those professional speaking voices. And it is funny that when you have professional speakers on the show, it's great because you guys are always well-versed in speaking publicly, and it seems like everybody has that professional radio voice. So now, Andre, I got to ask you, do you feel as if the way that you sound when you're doing interviews is the same as when you are speaking candidly or privately, or do you feel like you actually, with your public speaking, your voice changes or anything as far as
Nah, it's really about the same for me. Oftentimes people think I'm trying to put on a front or put on something sexy, but nah, it's just who I am, and that's really what got me started speaking, is because I've always heard interesting things about my voice since I was in high school. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Do you have you ever been a performer, sing, or anything like that?
Nah, I just remember I had a deep voice in high school, and I remember I would call a young lady that I was interested in, and I remember one specific time, her mother picked up the phone and she said, "Who was this grown man calling for my daughter?" And then she was like, "How old are you?" And I was 13. She said, 13. And I've always just heard things like that. So
I'm surprised they didn't call you the bass man.
Man,
What's my man that
I've
used to be on
heard that.
97.9, the guy with the super deep voice?
I remember I've heard that
I thank
too.
you so much for being here
Oh, yeah.
because I would love for you throughout our time together to talk about some of your professional speaking endeavors and how you educate your buyers
Okay.
as far as real estate and investments and when you have programs and seminars.
Definitely.
So if you wouldn't mind, I would love for us to be able to get into that today with you.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And our second guest, I would like to introduce him as well. Not only is he a professional speaker, but he is also, like Mr. Brooks, an author.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also a professional sales trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And he hosts his own podcast that I'm sure he'll talk about with us today. So I would like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience our second guest, Mr. LaDarrell Hopkins.
What's going on, beautiful people? I hope you're doing well today. I'm glad to be here.
As once again, another professional voice.
Yeah. The one thing though, we left out one key thing inside of that resume that you just rolled off.
Please, Brooks, please bless him. Let everybody know.
Sweet new.
And
The brother
as
of the
always,
Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity
Achievement.
Incorporated.
Achievement.
Yeah.
Achievement.
Human endeavor.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's what we
Mr.
strive for.
Mr. Hopkins, man, thank you so much, brother, man.
I'm glad to be here. Thank y'all for having me.
Organizing opportunity to interview gentlemen like yourselves with such busy schedules is quite an endeavor. And I understand that sometimes we may have to reshuffle schedules, push something back to later in the afternoon. So if you guys had to do any restructuring or sacrifice anything, I want to thank you publicly for doing that, because I think it's really important to have professional gentlemen like yourself speaking about the importance of organization, learning, and if you're going to be an entrepreneur, how your evolution and your learning process never stops.
Yes, sir.
So I want to thank both of you gentlemen here. So I want to ask you first, Andre, can you talk a little bit about your real estate practice, how long you've been practicing real estate, and what services do you try to provide for your clients?
So for me personally, man, I first got into the industry in 2004. People never really know how long I've been in the industry, but my mother was a mortgage broker.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Okay.
she had her own company, and she worked with my stepdad. They worked together owned a brokerage out in Greenspoint, and they thought it'd be best for me to go ahead and get my license.
Yeah.
So we can keep it all in the
Absolutely.
family. So
Makes sense.
I did that, and then I was working with a mentor at the time, and shortly after that happened, the big crash came. My mother lost her business, and I
wow.
had to make a decision: was I either going to stay in real estate and learn it, or was I going to get a job? Well, the mentor that I had at the time wanted me to work like 8 to 5 in his office. I had never worked 8 to 5, so I declined.
He says, I declined.
I
Absolutely.
declined. I went and got a job, and he went on to become the #1 real estate agent in Houston.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was Mr. Mark Demas. So
Oh, that's
not-
my dude.
Yeah, that's
Shout out, Mark.
That was my mentor when I first got in the industry.
Yeah, that's my dude,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. Yeah, Mark
Yeah.
is Mark good people. Shout
Yeah.
out to Mark. Man.
Yes,
And if I'm
definitely.
He'll
not
be on
mis-
the show soon,
and if I'm
man.
not mistaken, Andre, didn't you post a throwback Thursday pic of like when you first started in real estate,
All
like
right,
today?
So that was I did. So that was my first time going full time. I went full time in 2012,
Right.
and I started with Keller Williams Realty. So I've been full time 7.5 years. I've been licensed twice that time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
So the next
Outstanding.
question I get is, how old are you? I know.
Oh no, it's so funny because we all post those throwback pictures, and
Yeah,
it just seems like it can take you back to that place where you can reflect on your career,
definitely.
all the ups and downs.
Oh yeah,
So let's just talk about from the time that you went full time.
right.
Can you speak a little bit about what you've seen as far as the real estate market in Houston, how it's evolved and changed in that amount
Yeah,
of time?
definitely. The main thing I would say is very few of those agents are still in the business.
Right.
That's one.
Facts.
That's one major thing. And then the market itself. Oh my goodness, the prices of the homes are nothing like what they were back then. Back then you can get a 3.2 brand new. 140.
Yeah. I'll add to that. I was talking with Courtney Rose last night, and she was talking about she had been in the industry 20 years, and she said back in the days, and I remember this, back in the days, the homes that she's reselling for some of her clients that she sold to 20 years ago, they paid $88,000 for them. Now they're selling them for $226,000.
Exactly.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Just in 20 years, man.
Yeah. So that's one of the main differences I see. Another thing I'm seeing is that people don't really have to rely as much on realtors. We still have a very intricate role, but what's happening is people are coming into the process thinking that they know more than we do.
Right.
And that's because of the internet. They're exposed to so much information. So because it's exposed to so much, they thinking that they have the knowledge that is needed and necessary to proceed in the process.
And it's funny because I agree totally. But when I speak with my clients and I let them know, it's like, yes, you do know a lot more about your personal scenario than I do.
Right.
And I just feel like it gives us an opportunity to speak towards future goals, how they think, how they feel. Because with my clients, what I always try to make sure I can do is break down that barrier of transparency.
Right.
I believe you're not really truly developing a real estate and business relationship with your clients until they feel comfortable enough to expose everything that they feel and believe. Now, the great thing about the internet, you're right, is that they can get information at their fingertips. But the thing is that the internet also is making people more distrustful
That's true.
of revealing
Yeah.
how they feel publicly. So the thing that I've tried to do in my practice is to let everyone know that I'm open to you educating yourself. And then let me know how you feel about the things you found out.
Right.
And then we can work with each other to guide you towards a great real estate buying decision,
Definitely.
or when it's a great time to sell. So I want to make sure I let everyone know, because the cool thing about what you said, Andre, is that everybody who's owned a home, and that throwback picture you posted was from what year?
2012.
If you bought your home in 2012, it is time for somebody to speak to a professional. Let us talk to you about how much your home is valued at, and
Now.
if this is a good time to think
Exactly.
about selling and moving up.
Oh yeah.
So I want to thank you again for sharing that information, because it's
Definitely.
invaluable. And it's a lot of people who's probably going to hear this and say, wow, I bought in 2012.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look and see how much our house is worth.
Give me a call.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you this, Mr. Hopkins.
Yes, sir.
As an author, and I noticed you brought your books with you today.
Sir.
Could you please show those to the audience, please,
Sure,
sir?
yeah, no problem. The unspoken four-win language, a universal approach to win any conversation.
Now, the great thing about that is that not only are you an author, but you're also a renowned sales trainer. What are some of the topics that you touch on during your training to talk to people about being more productive, being more outgoing, and how to network properly?
Sure, yeah. Well, I think it first starts with creating great habits.
Oh, absolutely.
I think a lot of times we want to reach a goal, but we don't have a system in place to reach that goal.
That's right.
It used to be this thing with the youth, right? Like the millennials, they got it right because they want to work less and get more money. And I remember when I started off in pharmaceutical sales, the thing was, hey, how did you get in pharmaceutical sales? I want to be in pharmaceutical sales. What they were really saying was, how did you get a job where you got paid a lot of money and didn't work as hard? So people really want a feeling. And so that's what I am. I am the feeling, right? So what I do is I sell value. I am ultimately a value seller, whether I'm talking about my book, whether I'm out speaking, whether I'm out doing sales trainings, because I do a sales training called Persuasion and Influence in the Workplace, right?
Wow.
So if we're talking about persuasion and influence in the workplace, that's selling. Everyone is a salesperson. They just don't understand
Say
it.
that part again. Everyone is a salesperson.
Yeah, everyone.
I don't think they get that though,
Yeah,
because I
everyone
get
is.
all the time. No doubt. I agree.
So when I do my presentations, I always say this. How does a mother sell to her kids? I'll give you guys an example. So a mother may say, "Hey, Timmy, eat your vegetables," right? But eat your vegetables may not persuade Timmy to do it, right? So if she knows that Captain America is his favorite Avengers, she says, "Don't you want to be big and strong like Captain America?"
Yeah.
That simple thing I teach to mothers and teachers and coaches and inspiring speakers. I do this. I just did a talk with a financial group, an executive group with about 25 executives, okay, CFOs all around Houston yesterday morning. And when I tell you I got rave reviews, I have no fear to talk to anybody. And when I'm doing my sales training, it only comes from experience. Robert Kawasaki says this thing, the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Shout out Rich Dad.
Okay,
Poor Dad.
absolutely.
He says, a lot of times we want to learn from teachers, but teachers don't always have the experience. You want to respect your elders and learn from your elders, but you want to learn from people that have experience.
That's right.
And so when I say that everybody's a salesperson, change the word sales. Sales is not a dirty word. When people think sales, they think a car salesman or a slimy guy that's trying to, think about likability. Think about persuasion. Think about influence. Everybody sells. Some people are really great at sales. Some people are not so good. But I help people develop their sales skills to win.
And see, the thing about those skills is it's the epitome of what we're talking about on today's show. Developing those skills will help you survive in a drought. Regardless of what cycle, business cycle that we're in, it can be a down market, it can be an up market. But if you're a professional that's organized and you have a system, you can make sure that you're able to build your business so that it's recession proof.
That's true.
And I want to ask you, Andre, what advice would you give to professional agents that are new so that they can stay in the industry as long as you have to survive those ups and downs?
The very first thing I would actually say is make sure you have a database
Absolutely.
and a CRM, because all your business consists of is people. So if you want to have a business that's full of people, you need people. So you want to make sure that you have a way to manage those individuals that you come in contact with, whether they be friends, whether they be family, whether they be strangers. You need a way to manage them, to stay in front of them, to stay in contact with them, and to follow up with them on a regular basis, because the fortune is in the follow-up.
Absolutely.
The fortune. I've lost a lot of money just from not following up with individuals, and by the time I did follow up, they already bought a house.
Absolutely. And that CRM advice that you gave is invaluable, because there are a myriad of CRM softwares that market towards realtors.
Right.
And I know sometimes it can be cumbersome as far as which one should I pick.
Yeah.
But do your research, but definitely pick one.
But here's the thing, though. People always ask, so what's the best CRM to use? In my personal opinion, the one that you use.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anything will work if you work it.
Absolutely.
The question is, are you going to put it to use?
And that's it. I mean, that advice is something that I hope all the aspiring agents, new agents, and current agents can actually take in and absorb.
Yeah.
Because organizing those leads and being able to consistently market and follow up is the key to building any strong real estate brand and company.
Agreed.
Well, let me say something about that.
Please.
because I think that when you say the word brand, I think the powerful thing about brand, and we all have to recognize, is that our most important product we will ever sell is ourselves.
No doubt about
So
it.
once you realize that, it doesn't matter if you have product A, B, or C. Let's say product A is the best product on the market, and you sell that, and you go into your offices or you go to your services and you say, I am product A, I love it, but then something happens with product A. Now you're recognized as product A guy instead of who you really are. Once you build the rapport, nothing else matters. You can sell in any market to anybody once you get that system and you get those habits down. You can sell to anybody. That's why I said we're all salespeople. A mother who has never gone to college can get up and go sell medical sales.
Right.
You know, anybody that's willing to put in the work and create the system to get to the goal. Yeah. And I always tell people this last thing. When you have a system and a goal, what we're doing now, most people, what they do is they say, I want this goal. They'll tell me, I want to be in pharmaceutical sales. I want to be a professional speaker. I want to do this. And they want to skip the system.
Right.
And if your system is flawed, you're going to have a lot more resistance getting to your goal. So create the system first. Little by little, step by step. Create the system. You'll get to the goal.
Absolutely.
That's good work.
No, because we're going to take a short break. But when we come back, gentlemen, I want to give you guys an opportunity to share with our audience any upcoming public speaking events, any upcoming professional events that you're hosting, involved with, because I want everyone that watches this particular episode of our podcast to have an idea of how they can meet, greet, and interact with you gentlemen on a personal basis. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to the Prime Real Estate Network. This is Rick Davis, Realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network. Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area and you find yourself falling in love with the home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963. And remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network. I thank you for tuning in this week. I am your host, Rick Davis. I urge you to follow me at Prime Real Estate Rick. Prime Real Estate Rick, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate here in Houston or anywhere in the great state of Texas, please stop by our website at brooksanddavis.com. As always, my co-host is the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. And our guest this week is Mr. Andre Notice, Realtor with J. Paul Realty, and Mr. LaDarrell Hopkins, professional speaker, author, and sales trainer, as well as a podcast host. And I wanted to make sure I asked you about your podcast first, Mr. Hopkins. Could you share with our audience a little bit about your podcast?
Sure.
And subject matter that it
Sure. The
contains?
podcast is called Hop into Healthy Relationships. My name is LaDarrell Hopkins, so that's why we named it Hop. And I do this podcast with my wife. And what we focus on is building healthy relationships, not just marriages, but healthy relationships. We often go to the source of a lot of the issues. For example, if you and I got into an argument, a lot of times I would say, why are you mad? Well, we dig into where you're mad. Mm-hmm. And the powerful thing about that is I could say something that makes you think of something that happened to you when you were 12 years old. Uh-oh. And I don't even know that, but you do. Right. So a lot of times we get into this conflict and there's no resolution. We talk about conflict resolution, but we hold this stuff in. We hold this stuff in and we let it ball up and ball up and ball up. And the way me and my wife we kind of manage our relationship is we speak our mind and we continue to grow and be students of each other. So if you're a student of yourself first, you can grow with other people. But until you know thyself, you cannot have great conversations with other people. And so that builds, even when our friendship, I can have a better relationship with this brother right here if I know how I respond and how I react to things. Because he could come in angry and mad, and I can think to myself, before I get upset of what he says to me that might hurt my feelings or hurt my ego, I need to see, I wonder if he got in an accident before he got in here. I wonder if something happened to him. Right. And so even in the book that I speak about being a master of response, I think that's something that especially our people don't do enough of. We react too fast because our ego comes into the conversation. We're so focused on what was said and not why it was said.
Absolutely.
So yeah, y'all check that podcast out. I appreciate you guys again. Humbly appreciate you guys letting me come on and hang out with you guys. And go check out the podcast.
Okay, well, look, the book, the websites, please share. And if you are going to be having any public speaking engagements, or if you're hosting any events, please let our audience know where they can come and interact with you personally.
Sure. So I will be at La Chateau tonight. I hosted the event last week. It was off the chain. Earn Your Leisure, which is another big podcast out there doing big things, was there. Shout out to them. I'll be there tonight, not as an MC, but just supporting my brothers.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to give too much away, but I'm working with a production company on some special things that we're trying to do in the fall, so I don't want to give that away. You can reach me if you want to book me for a training, speaking, anything of that nature. This is in my blood. I've been speaking since I was young. I've always said I wanted to be the next Les Brown, but now I am that for our generation. Yeah. Check out the book. If you want to holler at me, LaDarrellHopkins.com. Come check me out. You want to book me, come holler at me. You want to kick it. If you want me to do any personal development and growth for you, I still do that on a personal level. So y'all check out the book. Check out the website, LaDarrellHopkins.com. And you can follow me at LaDarrell Hopkins Speaks with an S on IG.
And then, of course, we would be remiss if I didn't urge all members of Kappa Alpha Psi, undergraduate and grad chapters, if you need a speaker for any engagement, please look up Newt, man, because he's a great guy. He has a lot of great information to share, and I'm telling you, his information is invaluable. And I wanted to ask you, Andre, where can our audience meet and interact with you personally in the near future, sir?
So as of right now, I'm getting ready to host my last seminar for the year. I do a home buying seminar first, second, and third quarter.
Absolutely.
I do not host one fourth quarter because I'm not about to compete with Christmas. I'm not about that life. So I'll do the beginning of fourth quarter. It's going to be in October. I haven't set a date yet, but keep following me on Instagram at You Will Notice Me, the letter U, and Will Notice Me. And I'll be sure to have that information updated for you. And
oh, man. Thank you so much, man. It's been great. It's funny because Larry, he always shares with me once we get our guests confirmed, and I was really excited when I knew we were going to have you two gentlemen on the pod this week. So thank you so much. Your energy has been outstanding, and I know we're going to receive nothing but absolutely positive praise from our guests this week. Gentlemen, you've been great. Mr. Brooks.
Yes, sir.
What's going on this week in the world of the Texas Real Estate King?
Man, look at here. I'm going to catch me some football this week. But outside of football, I'll be out tonight as well. I got a couple of events I'm going to hit. I'm going to be at a Latte show tonight with LaDarrell. So, if you want to come out, shake some hands, and I love an opportunity to meet you, take some photos, and just talk about what you got going on in your life. Other than that, man, I am going to be going. I have a trip planned for September, and I have one planned for October. One's in LA and one's in Atlanta, and I'm looking for maybe someone that wants to sponsor me to come down there and talk to you, give you my 10 reasons why you should invest in Texas real estate. So if it's a brokerage firm in any of those cities and you want me to come in, spend about 30 minutes just telling your agents why it is they should partner with us realtors here in Texas, I love an opportunity to talk to them about it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. And I would like to share with our audience, if any of you have questions about how to get involved in the real estate investment aspect of Houston real estate, reach out to Larry or myself. I've received some inbox questions as far as, Rick, do you work with people who's not necessarily looking to buy or sell but just wants to invest? And the answer to that question is absolutely yes, Y-E-S. So please, if you have any questions, visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. I look forward to speaking with anyone that has questions. There is no question that's too big or too small. So I would definitely want to open up those communication avenues for everyone. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and our esteemed guest this week, I want to thank you all for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I hope everyone is blessed for the rest of this week. Please be safe this weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. So thank you for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, and I'll see you all. Thank you.
Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.